So-called renewable energy from wind turbines and solar panels isn't all rainbows and unicorns. Apart from being unreliable, intermittent and difficult to integrate into a synchronous grid, it is destroying the landscape. Acres of unspoiled forest in Australia is being bulldozed to make way for wind factories and the roads and infrastructure needed to support them. And until very recently, the environmentalists didn't bat an eyelid. Similarly, huge swathes of prime agricultural land are being taken over by vast arrays of solar panels, an ugly blight on the unspoiled countryside. And even though the energy is renewable, the turbines and solar panels certainly aren't, and have a lifespan far shorter than a comparable gas or nuclear power station. The latest assault on the environment is the need for massive battery energy storage systems in order to make up for the intermittency of the wind and solar power, storing energy when generated and releasing it when needed. Ironic, isn't it, that these hideous storage systems are only needed to fix the deficiencies of the hideous wind and solar factories? Add these three things together and what we are seeing is the wholesale industrialisation of the countryside, and people are thoroughly sick of it. If you're one of the many MGUY viewers who are not subscribed to this channel, please take a moment to subscribe right now. It doesn't cost anything and you'll be directly helping this channel push back on all the EV and net zero nonsense we're constantly being fed with. Just click the subscribe button down below and enable all notifications and you won't miss out on any future videos. Of course, none of this would be needed if we built a few strategically placed nuclear power stations across the country. They provide firm, synchronous generation, require a tiny footprint compared to the vast acres of wind and solar, and last about 3 times as long before needing to be replaced. But governments can't do that because then their mates in the renewable industry, who are absolutely coining it from this net zero insanity, wouldn't get their hefty grants and subsidies, would they? So instead, they demonise nuclear power, despite it being completely zero emissions and the obvious solution if you want to reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and push on relentlessly with the madness of farts and sunbeams. Nuclear would allow two things to happen: continued economic growth and zero emissions generation. Wind and solar only leads to economic shrinkage and industrial oblivion, as we hear of more industries considering leaving the UK or Australia because of excessive costs or the lack of suitable power supplies at all. And in the UK, residents are beginning to discover how much damage so-called green electricity generation actually does to the environment that the Greens were supposed to be protecting. Villagers fed up of battery storage schemes. Villagers near a string of battery energy storage systems, BESS, schemes in southern Scotland are fed up with the industrialisation of their community, a council has been told. Scottish Borders Council's Planning Committee narrowly voted not to object to the latest application near the Eccles substation by Bishopsdale Energy Limited. Donald Moffat, who represents Mid-Berwickshire, said he had concerns about the use of prime agricultural land. However, the committee agreed not to object to the scheme, which will store energy from renewable sources to be used when it is needed. The area has become a hotbed for applications due to its proximity to the Eccles substation, which is being expanded. The latest project would see 96 container-sized storage systems, a substation and fencing and new entrances put up. The final decision will lie with the Scottish Government, but the Council decided not to make any objection by 4 votes to 3. The local community is at the stage now when they think they have done their bit, said Mr Moffat. I object to the loss of good quality agricultural land, and we have already lost quite a few acres. The local community is fed up and they don't think there should be any more BESS developments in their community. It's basically industrialising our countryside. Yes, it certainly is. And of course, because net zero trumps everything, the response from the authorities is essentially, tough luck. A council report said the development complied with national planning frameworks and the local development plan. It added that there were no material considerations that would justify objection to the proposal. It concluded the project would have some minor landscape and visual impacts, and any issues could be addressed by appropriately worded conditions. It's literally like banging your head against a brick wall. The vested interests in renewables are so strong, so powerful, that this destruction of the environment will go ahead, despite the obviously preferable options like nuclear. It's a scandalous situation, but one in which the average person feels completely ignored and steamrollered. One day there may be a reckoning, and the Ponzi scheme of renewable subsidies will come crashing down. But I fear that day is still a very long way off.